it's hot in here. Let's get some seat coolers going. I'm gonna close my gate. Alright, so welcome back to Off-Road Icon. My name's Javier, and today we're going to change it up a little different. So I decided to test out my new A6600, trying to see how this little setup's going to work out in my vehicle. Figured, what a better time to do that than today. Well, sorry about that, that was my wife. Where was I? So now I'm picking up a yearbook because, you know, my kids are doing school from home and I'm leaving my house. So that was the point. So I decided to test out my A6600, see how it works inside my vehicle. I've done a little magnetized setup on a ball mount. Maybe I'll show it to you guys later. And what I'm going to do is actually go renew my CCW paperwork. So for those who don't know, I know I don't talk about it on the channel at all, but I do live in California. That part you guys should know. I live in Southern California. I actually live in San Bernardino County, and I am a CCW card holder. I did it 2 years ago. It did expire this year. It actually expired in July on my birthday. And because of COVID, I tried to go in and get my paperwork done, and they were closed. They said come back or call us. I forgot to call. So I think I went in May to try to turn in my renewal paperwork. My permit expired in July. I then tried to go in May and send in the renewal with the payment, and they said they were closed. So then June, I guess they opened. I forgot to call. I called in August. By the time I remembered, paperwork and postal money orders were sitting in my drawer on my office desk all the whole time, all filled out, all ready to go. I call them, they say go ahead and come down. Another few weeks passes because of work, and here I am today. I called them again today. They said, yeah, no problem, go ahead and come in. So I have to go to the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department in San Bernardino and drop off my paperwork. So I figured, good time to test out the camera, good time to do a little vlog session with the camera and see if I got to work out some kinks here or there. Kind of excited. I'm hoping the footage comes out pretty good. You guys let me know if it's good. Let me know what I need to change. I can hear some creaking. We'll see how loud that ends up being in the video. You know, it is on a, like I said, ball mount that you would have, like a tripod mount with a magnetic hookup on my Bayou mount base that's above my radio. So hopefully it doesn't fall down, because I did just buy all this and I would be pretty upset. So talking about the CCW process, I'm sure there's some of you people out there in the community that are curious about it. Depending on where you live, depends on how hard it is to get. San Bernardino County is more Second Amendment friendly. The sheriff, you know, thank thankfully believes that if you are within your right mind, if you are, you know, a good moral character, if you are not a criminal, and you have just cause, you should be allowed to practice your Second Amendment right. And he gives the opportunity to us out, you know, right, I don't know what the right word is to say, I guess, good moral character individuals of the county who, you know, just want to do good, live our jobs, take care of our kids, and not be menaces to society in any way. He gives us the opportunity to practice our Second Amendment right, and thankfully San Bernardino County is a lot better at letting people at least try to get their CCW license and defend themselves as per our Constitution. So, you know, that's all good stuff. I'm about to pull up to my son's school, so that means I'm gonna have to pause this. Alright, so I had to put a mask on. Got my son's yearbook. My wife will be very happy. I'm sure my son will be happy too. So, back to what I was saying. Sheriff in San Bernardino County is awesome. You know, as far as the process goes, again, I can only speak for San Bernardino County. I don't know about all the other counties. I do know there are plenty of counties that make it difficult, if not impossible, to get. But it's not a, I say I want a gun, I say I need a gun, they give me the ability to carry the gun, 2-week process. That's definitely not it. The process is not difficult, it's just time consuming. And so for me, I don't give legal advice. I'm not telling you if you should or shouldn't carry a gun. I'm just telling you the process I went through in case anyone is curious of what my experience is, in case you are deciding to go through that same process. So 2.5 years ago, you know, I do enjoy shooting. I'm a recreational shooter. I'm by no means a professional. And I said, you know, I do a lot of off-roading, I do a lot of camping, I do a lot of going to go shooting, and, you know, I have a lot of valuable stuff with me at all times, as well as I work in construction. I leave late, get up really early. And for those who know San Bernardino County, there are places in San Bernardino County that aren't the best. And when things were getting kind of crazy a couple years ago, there was quite a few shootings at gas stations near me, or gas stations I stopped at on the way to work to fill up, or from work, or for my son's practices. I felt it was probably time for me to make sure I take that extra step. In construction, you know, we're taught to be, I'm an electrician by trade now, I'm a project manager, but when I was in the field, you know, we have CPR training, OSHA 30 training, you know, fall hazard training, lift training. I mean, we get training for tons of stuff, power shots, making sure that we are qualified, or at least acknowledge and are aware of the risks, and know how to mitigate them, and know how to respond to them in a way that is helpful rather than creating a bigger problem. We get that training drilled into us all the time. And so I felt that, you know, I'd been practicing with my handguns, practicing with my rifles, and I felt that I was getting proficient enough where I would hit what I intend to hit within reason. And so since I felt comfortable enough personally to be able to use a firearm, and then I put into perspective all the things I do, and then, you know, all the potential risk you put yourself in. You know, waking up every morning, life is life. Someone can break into your house. Leaving your house every day, there is an amount of risk. You can get in a car accident pulling out your driveway. You can, you know, be robbed getting into your car. There's tons of stuff that can happen, and the reality is there are lots of things in place for that reason. So people say, well, what's the chance? Well, what's the chance of you getting in a car accident? I haven't been in a car accident, thank God, knock on fake wood, in a long time. but I still have car insurance. I would have car insurance even if it wasn't mandatory. You know, what's the chances of you being in a plane and it crashing? Well, if you never were in a plane, you probably wouldn't be in a plane that crashes, but you could still get hit by a plane if one's flying over you. It happens. What's the chance of being struck by lightning? It happens. So the whole point of insurance, or the whole point of being prepared, training, all those things are in case it does happen. So at that time, 2 years ago, I said, you know what? Makes perfect sense for me as a person. I have no interest in ever hurting anyone. I haven't been in a physical fight since I was, I don't know, 13, 14 years old. But there's crazy people out there that do crazy things, and I have children. I have a beautiful fiance, and I am in charge of making sure that they and myself come home every day. That is my responsibility. Me and my wife share the responsibility of making sure our kids are safe. Kids are safe, they're taken care of. And I said, you know what? Even if I don't need it all the time or carry it all the time, I'd like to have the ability to if I want to. So, call Sheriff's Department, looked it up online, got their number, called them. They told me where to go, download the paperwork, filled it all out, scheduled the day to drop it all off, and waited. And waited, and waited. Got a call back. Pretty sure I came back in, brought the rest of the remaining paperwork, filled out a questionnaire, very long questionnaire. Got a face-to-face interview right there in the lobby section with a, I guess I don't know if it wouldn't be a deputy, maybe it's a deputy of Sheriff's Department, a gentleman from the Sheriff's Department, police officer from the Sheriff's Department. I believe he is part of the CCW program. There isn't very many people that are part of that program in San Bernardino. So he asked me some questions. After I answered his questions, had me go through the door, take a photo, take full fingerprints, and said, if everything's good, we'll call you. Waited more time, and when I mean time, guys, I'm talking like 2 to 4 months in between the first time I dropped off my paperwork and the second time I had my interview. So, and then after I got my interview and I did my fingerprinting, I waited another few months to get a phone call to schedule my appointment for my range day and my class. And you write everything down, you make sure you're 100% clear on the date, the time, the requirements, everything. I mean, if you gotta ask questions, ask them then, because you're probably not gonna get another one. And they tell you flat out, if you are the type of person that should be allowed to carry, you should be a responsible individual, which means they shouldn't have to babysit you. And I agree to this 100%. They should not have to call you and tell you your appointment is on such and such date. If you need to reschedule or do something, you should be proactive and make sure you do so. So I went through, did all that. I got a phone call, write down my date, write down my time, got all the information. I already had my postal money order for my range fees. Said, okay, thank you. And that was that. Show up 2 months later, do my range day. It's an 8-hour day. Half of it was spent on the range. You do not spend 4 hours shooting on the range. There's a lot of people there. I'd say very, very, very easily 150 on that one day. So half the people were on the range while the other half of the people were in the class, and we each went through and qualified. Don't quote me on the distance, but I believe it was somewhere between 10 to 15 feet away from a target. The objection is to hit center mass or anywhere on the mass torso. It didn't have to be the exact same spot, but you had to hit it. And I believe you had to hit it 7 out of 10. I believe it was 7 out of 10. So again, don't quote me, find out for yourself. Also, it could be different where you live, so that's just where I live. When I happened to do the range first, thank God, and it was in the morning first thing, so I didn't have to worry about the heat. The second half of my day was spent in the classroom, going, listening, watching a presentation, having the other members from the CCW department, the sheriff, deputies, talk to us, give us some experiences. It is not a training. There is not, this is how you operate a gun, this is how you safely load a firearm, this is how you safely discharge a firearm or unload a firearm, check it. That is not what this class is for. And I would urge you that if you don't know how to do that, please, 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 please take some sort of classes. You learn to use your firearm prior to ever thinking about doing this. It's a major responsibility. There's a lot of legalities to it, and nobody's gonna help you for free. So even this video is not gonna tell you everything you need to know. It's just giving you some instances. So you go through the class, you listen to it, everything happens, you fill out the remaining of your paperwork, making sure that you're writing down the serial for your firearm, you know, the description of your firearm. In San Bernardino County, you're allowed to have 3 firearms on your card, and you have to qualify with all of them. So that's how that works. And then you turn it in, and then you wait. You don't know if you're going to receive it. You've spent a few $100s, probably somewhere in the mid $200, in between fees for background check, fees for the training class, fees for the being able to utilize the sheriff's range. You have to pay for that. You've probably purchased ammunition in order to shoot, an extra magazine if you did not have one for each firearm you brought, again up to 3. And so you've probably exhausted quite a bit of money. That's not including that if you did not own a firearm previous to this and you felt it was necessary, that you wanted to go through this process and you went and purchased a firearm in the intent of being able to carry it, you know, that's another fee. So you go through this whole process. At this point, it's been probably 9 months from the very beginning time that I started to the moment when I was, I would say, semi-done. And what I mean is I had done everything I had to do. Approximately 3 weeks later, maybe a month and a half at the most, it's been a while, I get a phone call saying it's good, and I received my ID, my CCW ID, in the mail. They used the photo from 6 months ago when I got fingerprinted. So that's kind of how that process went. And during the time I was waiting, I already had my firearms. Obviously, I had purchased holster. I went and got insurance, USSSA. Yep, that sounds right. I just paid for the best one because they have the best reviews. They let me use a lawyer of my choice for the most part. And at the end of the day, I just paid for the highest coverage because, God forbid, I have to defend myself or my family. And I mean that way. I am not here to defend anybody else really but myself and my family. I'm not a superhero. I'm not a police officer. And if I am not in immediate danger, I would have to say, I am sorry that you didn't choose to practice your Second Amendment right. But that's why I got it. And so this is what this video is about. The reality is, I wanted people to know what it was like for me to get it in San Bernardino County. And I also wanted people to understand something. The purpose of the Second Amendment is to protect your rights and your property, not to protect others. And so there's a misconception, a couple things. One, there's a couple people that know I have my CCW license, obviously more now. But some people do get put off by it. They think you're gonna go on a mass shooting spree. They think you're just gun wild and you want a reason to shoot somebody. And You know, the whole point of it is so that you can protect yourself. I don't always carry. I wish I carried more, but there's a lot of rules. I can't drop off my kids and carry my firearm. I can't go to work with my firearm. I do have a safe that I've put in, purchased, bolted down to my truck, that can hold my firearm when I need it to, as per the laws that are required. I do have insurance again, so that in case I did have to discharge my firearm, I have some sort of protection, just like in case I got in a car accident while I'm driving. So I did take precautions and work with trying to get things in place just in case, but the whole point of it was for me to protect myself and my family. And so I find it ironic when people think that you're just gun-ho. I mean, moral character. I have no felonies. I haven't gotten a thing, again, knock on wood, if I had some in here. I haven't had a parking ticket or a ticket in a long time. Haven't been in an accident in way over 10-15 years. Haven't, you know, I've tried to be a good person as often as possible, especially once I had kids. You know, you want to make your kids better than you, and you want them to have a better life. And so I have chosen to teach them things and prepare them in a way that I feel is best to ensure they are successful. So this was one of those steps. People who think that CCW members are just crazy people who want to walk around with a gun, it's not really the case. The crazy people that want to walk around with a gun are the people who don't get their CCW license and still carry a gun. They are people who are obviously committing a crime. You know, there is rules. You can take your firearm to the shooting range. Obviously, you're not committing a crime as long as it's within the laws. You know, locked up, everything separated. You should find out the laws for yourself if you don't know how to do that. All of it is a major responsibility. If you're going to drive a race car, maybe you should learn how to drive a race car before you get on the track. You know, same thing with the firearm, same thing with a lot of things. I can't go fly a helicopter or a plane, don't know how to. So I think, again, it's a bit of a rambling video, but hopefully you guys got a little bit of information today. My firearm CCW license expired July 23rd, which is my birthday. Since then, I have not carried my firearm. It's been locked up in my safe. I do not have my firearm on me now. I have the paperwork, I have my postal money orders, it's all filled out and ready, just not signed. And I'm heading down to San Bernardino to finish that all up, get it signed, and hopefully everything goes well. So what'll happen is I'm gonna cut the video here. I'm gonna finish the drive. Maybe I'll give you a couple of video or B-roll of the drive. It's not very exciting. And when I finish, I will check back in with you guys. I hope for those of you who are thinking about getting your CCW license and live in a county that is friendly to CCW, that was a big drop. That if it's something that you can do and you are a responsible individual, I encourage you to do so. The reality is, the world is crazy. People do horrible things, and you know, at the end of the day, you don't want to be the victim. I hate that the world tries to protect the villains. I hate that, you know, somebody thinks it's okay to shoot someone's grandmother, and then when they get locked up, the statement gets made that, well, they just needed help. Well, then find them the help. If you know someone who needs help, if you know somebody who's going through a hard time, be there for them, support them. Be the type of person that is gonna be there for someone else. Because at the end of the day, those demons that those individuals are fighting are demons that they shouldn't have to fight alone. And a lot of times, not all the time, But a lot of times people are just going through horrible moments in their life and making very bad decisions. And realistically, if somebody would have been there, it may have changed it. It may have made that, or make that never happen. If people would stop bullying each other, be courteous to one another. You know, I watch a guy named David Manning on YouTube, and he has a shirt that says "Be a good human." That is the best statement I've ever seen. It's not a plug, but just be a good human, be a good person to each other. You know, then maybe if that's the way the world was and we accepted each other, we wouldn't have all these issues we have today. But the reality is, if you're a sheep, the wolves are gonna get you. So what I say, don't be a sheep. You can be a wolf without going after innocent people. That's all I got. So I'll check back in with you guys in a little bit. I probably got about 15 more minutes of driving, and catch you in a little bit. Peace. Let's turn this down. All right, so I'm back. So all done. I had my 3 money orders ready with me. The classroom one, the background check one, I guess, and whatever renewal one. And had all my paperwork pre-filled out. Walked in, waited for a moment. They opened up the door, gave them my paperwork, took copies of my license and my permit, which was expired, but they took a copy of it. Gave it all back, gave me a couple sheets that I had turned in that say do not sign until today, basically. Gave me a couple extra sheets, filled out the information, walked in front of them, signed all the paperwork. They gave me my receipt, and see you later. I don't have a permit in hand. I don't know what the next step is. I've never done a renewal, so this is my first renewal. So I don't know if they're gonna call me to requalify with them. I did not make any changes to my permit. So from what I understood, if you don't make any changes, you don't have to requalify. However, the laws may have changed in the last 2 years. So I may have to requalify, which means I'll have to schedule a range day, which means I'll probably wait for a phone call, qualify, and go from there. So we'll see. If I have to requalify, I'll provide an update. If I don't have to requalify, then this is the end of the video, and hopefully in a couple weeks, a month, I don't know, I get my new permit. So hopefully this was helpful for you guys. Again, San Bernardino County, live in California. I'm in front of the Sheriff's Department right now, finishing off this video. If you have any questions, comment down below. Again, like David Manning says, go follow him. He's a freaking great guy. He does a lot of camera videos and video content. Just be a good human. I don't want to take your slogan, bud. I doubt you'll ever see this video, but it is the best slogan for what I am talking about. Everybody who gets their CCW should be of good moral character, should be compassionate, should be just an outstanding individual. That's my personal belief. May not always be the case, but at the end of the day, I hope that if you're considering it, you're the type of person who's there to be a better person in life, to be that example. Other than that, Have a great day. I'll catch you soon. I am actually going to be working on my friend's 4Runner video, so we'll do a rig breakdown of that, talk about it, do a walk around. I got to talk about my 23-0 awning, future video content, and these roto tracks that I totally forgot to do a video on. So look in the future, see what's coming up. For right now, do me a favor, do the YouTube stuff, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the share, hit the bell notification so you know when new content's coming out. I haven't been as steady as I want to be, but I still keep pushing videos out for you guys. And if this vlog thing works out, I might do a couple more of these. I kind of like it. It's easy to talk. I'm a pretty good rambler, so hope you enjoy it. Catch you soon. See you in the next one. Follow me on Instagram. Peace.